Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the explosive tensions and hidden secrets unraveling in Port Charles on Thursday, October 9th. As the fallout from the shocking shooting of Drew Kane continues to grip the town, Carly Spencer finds herself spiraling into a state of utter panic that could unravel years of carefully guarded composure. Fresh off the news that the Quartermaine mansion faced a potential search warrant during the intense events of October 7th, Carly's nerves are frayed to the breaking point, leading to an emotional explosion that viewers won't soon forget. In a moment of desperation, she corners Elizabeth Liz Weber, her longtime rival turned reluctant confidant, demanding answers in a hushed but heated confrontation at the hospital corridors. Fans will remember that Liz accidentally overheard Carly's chilling threat to eliminate Drew just before the gunfire erupted, a slip that now haunts Carly as she grapples with the fear of becoming a prime suspect alongside Michael Corinthos. This encounter, in just a casual chat, Carly's eyes dart nervously as she presses Liz with urgency, whispering, "If the spotlight's turning my way, I have to know right now before it's too late." Her voice trembles with a mix of defiance and dread, revealing layers of vulnerability beneath her tough exterior. Perhaps flashbacks to her past manipulations with Sonny or her corporate battles at Aurora will flicker in her mind, amplifying the stakes. Does Carly truly have reason to fear exposure, or is this paranoia pushing her toward a reckless move that could incriminate her further? The scene promises to dissect the fragile trust between these two women, highlighting how one overheard conversation could topple empires built on silence. Shifting focus to the botched police operation, the search warrant for the Quartermaine estate, intended to uncover clues in Drew's assault, hits a major snag that buys precious time for the suspects. On Tuesday's episode, Veronica Ronnie Bard, the sharp-eyed legal eagle, swiftly intervenes and halts the proceedings by pointing out a glaring error. The address listed was completely off, a clerical blunder that reeks of rushed bureaucracy at the PCPD. This twist leaves Anna Devane fuming with frustration, as she confides in Harrison Chase during a tense strategy session in the dimly lit precinct office, warning that the delay might allow the Quartermaines and their inner circle to scrub away any damning evidence hidden in plain sight. Anna's mind races through possibilities. Could family members like Ned or Tracy be hastily destroying documents or wiping digital trails related to Drew's shady dealings? Her experience, a former WSB operative, makes her hypervigilant, and she sketches out scenarios where alibis are fabricated under the guise of everyday Quartermaine drama. Chase, ever the intuitive detective, absorbs her concerns and experiences a sudden epiphany mid-conversation, his eyes lighting up as he paces the room. Perhaps he's uncovered a legal workaround, like reissuing the warrant with corrected details or leveraging surveillance footage from the mansion's security cams to build probable cause without entry. This revelation could pivot the investigation dramatically, forcing viewers to question if the police net is tightening despite the setback, or if the Q's influence runs deeper than anyone imagined, weaving in threads of corporate espionage from Drew's ELQ ties. Meanwhile, across the bustling streets of Port Charles, Joslyn Jacks navigates a web of espionage and personal vendettas that test her resolve like never before. Her ongoing rendezvous with Jack Brennan escalates when he summons her for another clandestine meeting, this time entrusting her with a high-stakes mission that blurs the lines between her civilian life and her covert WSB ties. Imagine Brennan outlining a surveillance op on a shadowy figure, linked to Drew's shooter, complete with gadgets and encrypted comms that Joss must master on the fly. Yet, before she dives into this assignment, Joss confronts Britt Westburn at the hospital in a fiery exchange that crackles with unresolved animosity. Britt, the cunning doctor with her own skeletons, has been leveraging Joss's secret agent identity as blackmail fodder, demanding silence in exchange for her discretion after catching Joss in a suspicious late-night call. Joss, no longer the wide-eyed teen, but a fierce young woman shaped by losses like her breakup with Dex, fires back with a steely threat. "Push me too far, Britt, and I'll make sure your own secrets bury you first." Their back and forth escalates in the sterile hallway, with Britt smirking through retorts about Joss's impulsive nature, while Joss counters by alluding to Britt's murky Hunter family history and her brushes with the law. This clash isn't mere spat. It delves into themes of power dynamics in Port Charles' elite circles, where secrets are currency and alliances shift like sand. Viewers might speculate if Joss complies with Britt's demands just enough to buy time, or if this threat sparks a chain reaction exposing both women's vulnerabilities amid the broader Drew investigation. In a quieter but no less charged corner of the drama, Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson resume their intimate conversation from Tuesday, navigating the emotional minefield of trust and hidden truths that have defined their relationship. Though Portia clutches the weight of her recent positive pregnancy test as surprise that could reshape their future, she chooses to withhold it for now, opting instead to delve into speculations about Drew's lingering shadow over their lives. Curtis, drawing from his pie instincts honed through years of unraveling Port Charles mysteries, shares a bold theory. He suspects the authorities may have already seized the incriminating blackmail files Drew once wielded against Portia. Those damning records of her past deceptions involving the Spencers and hospital scandals. Their discussion unfolds in a cozy booth at the Savoy, with Curtis gesturing animatedly about how Drew's shooting might have inadvertently freed them. Perhaps police raids on his safe houses turned up the documents, severing the hold he had. Unbeknownst to them, Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor played unwitting heroes the night of the attack, shredding and incinerating those papers in a frantic bid to protect Portia, their actions fueled by Trina's fierce loyalty and Kai's street-smart quick thinking. This revelation adds poignant irony, as Curtis and Portia's hopeful words contrast with the real dangers lurking. Portia's hand might unconsciously rest on her abdomen, hinting at the life-changing news she's guarding. Their exchange explores redemption arcs, questioning if eradicating the evidence truly liberates them or merely delays an inevitable confrontation with their past sins. Finally, the emotional core of Thursday's episode pulses with Willow Tate's raw vulnerability as she grapples with a burden that's eating away at her from within. Stationed at the hospital, where her nursing skills are put to the test daily, Willow makes a poignant visit to Drew's bedside, her former fiancé lying pale and bandaged, a stark reminder of the fragility of their shared history. Overcome by guilt that has simmered since her marriage to Michael, she finally breaks her silence, confessing a tangled web of deceptions, perhaps admitting how she withheld crucial information about Nina's identity as her biological mother, or revealing her role in covering up Michael's aggressive pursuit of ELQ shares that indirectly fueled Drew's enemies. Willow's voice cracks as she holds his hand, detailing the night she agonized over loyalty splits between her Corinthos family and the man who once promised her the world, weaving in flashbacks to their Metro Court wedding interrupted by chaos. Drew's weakened response, maybe a faint nod or whispered forgiveness, could catalyze Willow's path toward healing, but not without stirring ripples. Does this admission alert hospital staff to inconsistencies in the case, or pull Michael into the fray when he learns of it later? This heartfelt scene underscores Willow's evolution from a guarded outsider to a woman confronting her choices head-on, enriching the tapestry of Port Charles' interconnected fates. Next, we will learn about the intriguing mystery surrounding Ronnie Bard and her supposed connection to the late Monica Quartermaine. With Monica Quartermaine's heartbreaking departure from Port Charles still fresh in viewers' minds, a cloud of uncertainty hangs over the Quartermaine legacy, particularly regarding the enigmatic Ronnie Bard, who claims to be her long-lost sister. Fans are buzzing with questions about the authenticity of this family tie, especially since Monica's vast network of secrets, from her tumultuous romances with Alan and Rick Weber to her iron-fisted role at ELQ, never hinted at a sibling lurking in the shadows. This revelation feels like a bolt from the blue, prompting speculation that Ronnie's emergence might be more calculated than coincidental, perhaps designed to stir up the already volatile dynamics at the Quartermaine mansion amid ongoing investigations into Drew Kane's shooting. As Ronnie lingers on the fringes of the Q family drama, her poised demeanor and subtle manipulation suggest she's not just a grieving relative but a player with deeper motives. possibly eyeing a slice of the Quartermain fortune, or using the sister angle to infiltrate sensitive family discussions about inheritance and corporate control. The timing couldn't be more suspicious, with the estate still reeling from search warrant threats and evidence tampering whispers, leaving audiences to ponder if Ronnie's story is a genuine heartfelt reunion or a cleverly woven deception to exploit Monica's absence. Diving deeper into the skepticism, devoted ABC General Hospital enthusiasts can't shake the oddity of Monica never once referencing a sister throughout her decades in Port Charles, a city where family skeletons are routinely exhumed like old ELQ boardroom battles. Viewers point out the implausibility. Why would the fiercely protective Monica, who raised AJ and raised hell over Jason's identity, ignore a sibling in need, never extending a hand during Ronnie's supposed hardships or even sharing a holiday toast at the mansion? This omission clashes with Monica's character arc. From her early days as the vulnerable young doctor entangled in the Weber family web to her later years as the unyielding matriarch defending her lineage against interlopers like Faith Roscoe or the Casadines, fans theorize that if Ronnie were real, Monica might have whispered about her during vulnerable moments like her cancer battle or the grief over Emily's loss. Yet no such anecdotes surfaced in conversations with Tracy, Ned, or even Dylan. Adding fuel to the doubt, the will's bequest to Ronnie a mysterious clause surfacing post-funeral strikes many as contrived, potentially fabricated to justify her presence now, when the cues are most divided over Drew's influence and Michael's ambitions. This gap in Monica's narrative invites scrutiny, suggesting the showrunners might be retrofitting history to inject fresh intrigue. But it risks alienating longtime fans who cherish the continuity of her orphan origins and foster family ties. To contextualize the confusion, a quick revisit to Monica's foundational backstory reveals layers that make Ronnie's claim even more puzzling. Portrayed as an orphan shuttled through foster care in the 1970s, Monica found stability under Gail Baldwin's wing, a mentorship that shaped her resilience but also exposed her to early traumas, including the predatory advances from Gail's first husband, who later penned accusatory letters claiming Monica pursued him, a scandal that nearly derailed her medical career before it began. This history, woven into episodes from the Weber era, emphasized Monica's self-made status, with no room for a biological sister amid her adoption rumors and lone wolf determination to build the Quartermain dynasty. Tracy Quartermain, ever the family historian, once boasted of digging into Monica's past during their infamous feuds, uncovering distant cousins but no siblings, which adds credence to whispers that Ronnie could be a fabrication born of lazy writing or a deliberate red herring. Imagine if Ronnie's tale tied back to that foster era, perhaps a half-sister separated at birth during Monica's turbulent youth, but without concrete ties to iconic events like the DVX, brainwashing, or the Spencer Quartermain wedding debacles. It feels adrift. Fans argue this retcon undermines Monica's legacy, turning her into a plot device rather than the enduring force who navigated AIDS storylines with Bobby and corporate coups against Edward. Social media has erupted into a frenzy of debate, with ABC General Hospital forums and Twitter threads dissecting every angle of Ronnie's legitimacy like a high-stakes ELQ shareholder meeting. One vocal fan captured the sentiment, posting, "Tracy swore she cross-checked Monica's history ages ago during that custody war over Brooklyn, and a sister never popped up either. Ronnie's a total phony or the writers are pulling a fast one on us orphans in the plot department." Echoing this, another commenter delved into the foster care lore. Monica's whole vibe was built on being the ultimate survivor from Gail's home, dodging creeps and carving her path. No way she'd ghost a blood relative unless Ronnie's a construct to mess with the cues now that Drew's pulling strings from his hospital bed. The discussion heated up with references to overlooked relatives, like the spa mogul Lorena Sharp Barrington, Monica's established cousin from the 80s, who vanished after building a wellness empire in Port Charles, only to be sidelined without a death certificate. Why resurrect a spa queen instead of inventing this sister gimmick? Viewers lamented the missed opportunity, suggesting Lorena could have returned with a vengeance. Tying into current wellness trends at the hospital, or even collaborating with Epiphany on community health initiatives before fading away. Yet, the theories grow wilder, with many pinning Ronnie, an imposter orchestrated by cunning minds like Drew Kane or Rick Lansing to destabilize the Quartermaines from within. Drew, still recovering and harboring grudges from his Navy SEAL days, might have bankrolled this charade to dilute ELQ voting shares or extract confessions about the shooting, using Ronnie as a Trojan horse to eavesdrop on private mansion talks. Rick, ever the silver-tongued schemer, with his history of faking identities for Alexis or manipulating custody battles, could be pulling strings from the shadows, motivated by revenge for Monica's past slights or to bolster his own legal claims on Casadini assets bleeding into Q territory. Picture Ronnie, coached in Monica's mannerisms from old photos and archived interviews, slipping into conversations with Ned about vintage medical cases or bonding with Brooke over lost mother's subtle ploys to gain trust before striking. This impersonation angle amplifies the drama, connecting to broader Port Charles conspiracies like the WSB's involvement in Drew's case or Helena's posthumous vendettas, where fake kin have toppled dynasties before. If exposed, it could ignite a full-scale Q civil war, with Tracy leading the charge to unmask her using private investigators or DNA tests smuggled past the PCPD's watchful eye. For those craving a more organic twist, fans propose rewriting Ronnie's arc to honor Monica's memory, envisioning her arrival months earlier, a prodigal sister seeking reconciliation amid Monica's health decline. In this alternate narrative, Ronnie could have knocked on the mansion doors during a stormy night, armed with faded letters from their shared childhood or a locket etched with the Baldwin Foster emblem, allowing for tearful bedside scenes where Monica imparts wisdom on loving fiercely despite betrayals. Staying on as a house guest, Ronnie might have manipulated events, subtly forging documents to secure her inheritance while helping with El crises, like advising Michael on Sonny's Metro Court threats or decoding Jason's cryptic messages from the road. This setup would humanize her, blending vulnerability with scheming, perhaps revealing a backstory of Ronnie fleeing an abusive foster extension or clashing with Monica over their parents' abandonment during a long-lost European clinic stint. Attending the funeral in a poignant display draped in black, clutching Monica's favorite stethoscope would cement her legitimacy, contrasting the current aloofness that has her prowling the estate's perimeter like a ghost avoiding the light. The oddity of Ronnie's post-mortem lurking outside the Quartermaine gates, eavesdropping on grief-stricken gatherings without joining the memorial, only deepens the enigma, fueling debates on her true intentions in a town where outsiders rarely survive scrutiny. Why skip Monica's service, complete with eulogies from Laura and heartfelt toasts at the floating rib, if familial bonds were genuine unless she's biding time to exploit divisions, like pitting Dylan against Ned over creative control at ELQ Media Ventures? This peripheral haunting evokes classic soap tropes, reminiscent of Faison's disguises or Stavros' cryogenic returns, positioning Ronnie, a wild card in the Drew investigation's ripple effects. As Port Charles teeters on revelations, from Carly's panic to Joss's threats, Ronnie's sister claim could be the detonator, either reuniting fractured Q-souls or shattering them irreparably in a blaze of forged signatures and hidden agendas. Next, we will learn about the shocking possibility that Nathan West and Willow Tate could be forging an unholy alliance that threatens to shake Port Charles to its very foundation. The recent resurrection of Nathan West has sent ripples of unease throughout the corridors of General Hospital, with explosive new spoilers suggesting that this supposedly reformed detective might be orchestrating something far more sinister than anyone could have imagined. What's even more alarming is the mounting evidence that Willow Tate, once considered a beacon of hope and innocence, could be positioning herself as his perfect accomplice in a web of deception that could rival the most notorious partnerships Port Charles has ever witnessed. The mere thought of these two characters joining forces sends chills down the spines of longtime viewers who remember when both were considered heroes fighting for justice and family values. Nathan's dramatic return from the dead has been nothing short of miraculous. Yet beneath the surface of this medical marvel lies a troubling transformation that has left even his closest allies questioning his true identity and motivations. The man who once wore the PCPD badge with honor and integrity now carries himself with an almost predatory confidence, his eyes harboring secrets that seem to dance with malicious intent whenever he thinks no one is watching. During a recent scene at the hospital, sharp-eyed viewers caught a fleeting but unmistakable expression of calculated cunning as Nathan scrolled through information on his tablet, a look that suggested he was not merely catching up on current events, but rather studying his next targets with the precision of a seasoned predator. This subtle yet chilling moment has sparked intense speculation among fans who recognize that the Nathan who died protecting his family would never possess such cold, calculating mannerisms. The medical miracle of Nathan's revival becomes even more suspicious when examined through the lens of Port Charles' history with body doubles, mind control, and elaborate deceptions orchestrated by criminal masterminds. While laboratory tests have conclusively confirmed that the fingerprints and DNA samples match Nathan West's official records, seasoned General Hospital viewers understand that in a town where Victor Casadini once manipulated genetic evidence and Helena Casadini perfected the art of mind control, such scientific proof means virtually nothing. The technology exists within the show's universe to create perfect biological replicas, transfer memories between individuals, or even completely reprogram a person's personality while leaving their physical shell intact. This opens up terrifying possibilities. Could this Nathan be an elaborate android programmed with selective memories? Has someone successfully transplanted another person's consciousness into Nathan's restored body? Or, perhaps most disturbing of all, has the real Nathan been subjected to such intense psychological conditioning that his very soul has been replaced by something darker and more manipulative? The timing of Nathan's return coincides suspiciously with several ongoing mysteries that have plagued Port Charles, most notably the identity of the shadowy figure who has been pulling strings from behind the scenes in various criminal enterprises throughout the city. For months, characters have referenced a mysterious boss whose influence extends into multiple storylines involving corporate espionage, medical malpractice cover-ups, and sophisticated blackmail schemes that require both insider knowledge and ruthless determination to execute successfully. The sophistication of these operations suggests someone with intimate knowledge of Port Charles' power structures, police procedures, and hospital protocols, exactly the kind of expertise a former detective like Nathan would possess. If Nathan has indeed been transformed into this puppet master, it would explain how he gained access to sensitive information about ongoing investigations, patient records, and family secrets that he's been subtly leveraging to position himself advantageously within the community. Britt Westburn's visible discomfort whenever Nathan enters her vicinity has not gone unnoticed by astute viewers who recognize her exceptional ability to detect deception and manipulation, skills honed through years of navigating her own family's criminal legacy. As someone who grew up surrounded by lies and schemes, Britt possesses an almost supernatural radar for detecting when people ought what they appear to be, making her instinctive awareness of Nathan particularly significant. Her body language during their interactions speaks volumes. The subtle step backward when he approaches, the way her hands unconsciously clench when he speaks, and the guarded expression that crosses her face whenever he attempts to engage her in seemingly innocent conversation. These reactions suggest that, on some subconscious level, Britt recognizes that the man claiming to be Nathan West represents a threat that goes far beyond simple personality changes caused by trauma or resurrection. The psychological profile of this new Nathan bears disturbing similarities to some of Port Charles' most notorious villains, particularly Caesar Faison and Peter August, both masters of manipulation who excelled at presenting themselves as reformed individuals while secretly orchestrating elaborate revenge schemes. If Nathan has been programmed with memories or personality traits borrowed from these criminal masterminds, it would explain his newfound ability to read people's weaknesses with surgical precision and exploit their vulnerabilities without displaying any of the moral qualms that once defined his character. The possibility that Faison's consciousness could have been implanted into Nathan's restored body is particularly chilling. as it would represent the ultimate revenge against the man who helped bring about his downfall, turning Port Charles' former protector into its greatest threat. Meanwhile, Willow Tate's own transformation from innocent victim to calculating manipulator has been unfolding gradually, making her the perfect candidate to serve as Nathan's partner in whatever scheme he's orchestrating. The young woman who once trembled at the thought of confronting authority figures now moves through Port Charles with the confidence of someone who has learned to view other people as chess pieces to be maneuvered rather than individuals deserving of respect and honesty. Her evolution into someone capable of emotional manipulation became particularly evident during her interactions with Michael Corinthos, where she demonstrated an almost sociopathic ability to compartmentalize her feelings and present whatever version of herself would be most effective in achieving her desired outcome. This cold pragmatism, combined with her intimate knowledge of the Quartermain and Corinthos family dynamics, makes her an invaluable asset to anyone seeking to infiltrate Port Charles' most powerful families. The existing connection between Nathan and Willow through their supposed familial relationship provides the perfect cover for frequent meetings and private conversations that others would dismiss as natural bonding between relatives, whether their blood relationship is genuine or fabricated. This perceived family tie allows them to share information and coordinate their activities without arousing suspicion from other characters who might question why a reformed police officer would be spending so much time with someone known for her complicated romantic history. Their shared experiences of betrayal and loss could serve as the foundation for a twisted partnership built on mutual understanding of how to weaponize other people's emotions and trust, turning their own pain into a tool for inflicting suffering on those they believe have wronged them. The potential criminal partnership between Nathan and Willow represents a particularly dangerous combination of skills and access that could wreak havoc throughout Port Charles' interconnected community. Nathan's law enforcement background provides him with detailed knowledge of investigative procedures, security protocols, and legal loopholes that could help them stay ahead of any attempts to expose their activities, while Willow's position within the Quartermain family gives her access to corporate secrets, financial information, and personal details about some of the city's most influential residents. Together, they could orchestrate sophisticated schemes that blend corporate sabotage with personal revenge, using their intimate knowledge of their target's psychological vulnerabilities to maximize the emotional damage they inflict. The formation of this diabolical alliance could serve as the catalyst for a major storyline that forces other characters to confront uncomfortable truths about trust, redemption, and the possibility that some people are beyond saving. As Nathan and Willow's partnership solidifies and their schemes become more ambitious, longtime friends and family members will be forced to choose between their loyalty to these individuals and their responsibility to protect the community from the threat they represent, creating the kind of moral complexity that has always been General Hospital's signature storytelling strength. Upcoming episodes promise to reveal shocking developments about Nathan's true nature and intentions, with spoilers hinting at revelations that will fundamentally change how viewers understand his character and his relationship with other Port Charles residents.